Salt is a seasoner that you may be very familiar with. It's in almost all our meals. It adds flavour to our dishes and is needed to keep our bodies healthy. But did you know that too much salt is bad for your health? Sodium, which is part of salt, helps to maintain the water balance in our body. If we have too much sodium in the blood, it increases the amount of water in our blood. This can cause high blood pressure. If you think of our blood vessels like water pipes, if we have too much water in the pipes, there will be too much pressure. This pressure can cause trouble for our pipes, which can get damaged. It can also damage our heart. The heart is like the pump for our blood vessels, and with too much pressure, the heart has to work harder. So it's important for us to make sure our salt intake is right to protect our blood vessels and heart. The daily recommended intake of sodium is between 1,600 milligrams and 2,300 milligrams. This is about 1 teaspoon of salt. There are many common foods that have a high sodium content and a salty taste. These include table salt, potato chips, bacon, sausages, and soy sauce. However, do you know that most sodium comes from the processed foods in our diets? Salt in processed foods are usually hidden and are hard to recognise. For example, white bread contains 140 milligrams of sodium per slice. This might not sound like much, but if you layer this with salty peanut butter or bacon, your meal will contain a lot of sodium. Other foods that are high in hidden salt include pastries, pies, muffins, cakes, pasta sauce, cheeses, canned vegetables, baked beans, and canned meat. It is important to reduce your intake of these to reduce the amount of salt in our diet. You can reduce the amount of salt you consume with a few simple steps. Step 1. Reduce the amount of processed food you consume and replace with fresh foods. For example, choose fresh fruits and vegetables and unprocessed meat over canned vegetables or canned meat. Also choose cottage cheese rather than feta cheese or blue cheese. Swap potato chips for roasted potatoes. Step 2. Avoid adding salt to cooking or at the dinner table. Instead, try other herbs or flavours to season your food, such as spices, garlic or lemon juice. And step 3. If you're up for more of a challenge, you can use the food tables on the back of the products to work out how much sodium is in your foods. The National Heart Foundation recommends choosing foods with 120 milligrams of sodium or less per 100 gram of product. Using these guides can help choose less salty foods. Read the labels on the back of the packaged foods too. Salt must be listed as an ingredient if it's present. Regardless of how much salt you consume, it is important to get your blood pressure checked to make sure everything is going well. Have you had your blood pressure checked? You can get your blood pressure checked at your doctor's, and your local pharmacy can even do this for free. Doctors and pharmacists use a machine which provides you with a reading of your blood pressure. They can provide you with more information and let you know how your blood pressure fares. You could also buy a machine from your local pharmacy and do it yourself. If you have any questions about salt, blood pressure, or choosing foods lower in salt, pop into your local pharmacy. But remember, a lower salt diet means better health. Let's get started on reducing our salt intake today.
Created using Powtoon.